Am I getting pretty blasted out by the light? Can you see my face okay? Okay.
Okay, you're still there,
Yes.
and it's saying that we're live now. So, okay, wait a second. Are we live? Yes, we are live. Okay, good. Supposedly we are live, so let's just hope this works. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Paula's Soapbox. Hopefully live. We're having a few technical issues. I am here with an actor who has been in literally everything. He's done film and television and commercials and voiceovers. You name it, you've probably seen him in something. If you've had a TV or if you have even passed by a TV in the store, you have probably seen his face. Please welcome to the show actor Kevin Brief.
Hi, all.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your patience with all of the technical issues that Google is trying to put me through tonight.
I tell you, these Google people don't know what they're doing.
Evidently not. It's obvious that someone is messing up here, and it's not either one of us. So,
and except Google will take over the world at some point.
Right, yeah. I think that is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Well, as I mentioned, you have been in so many things, but oddly enough, your career started in Missouri, correct?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I went to grad school in Florida, got my master, an MFA in acting, and so did a little bit of work down there. But yeah, I got going professionally in Kansas City, Missouri, of all places, and had a very nice career in Kansas City. Made a living as an actor, and it's a great town. But yeah, my first like job on film was in Kansas City, and worked there in theater and commercials, voiceovers. The occasional, about almost once a year, a network movie of the week would come through town, or a feature film would come through town, and they would hire local actors. And I was lucky enough to get cast in almost all of those. So by the time I came out to LA, I had some good tape and some good credits, and I made my entrance into the LA market.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Kansas City is obviously not the first place you would think of that you would get a lot of experience in acting.
Well, so, yeah, when I was first starting,
people think that you were crazy when you decided to move there.
Well, it involved a girl.
Right.
So,
yeah.
My girlfriend at the time was going to University of Kansas and finishing her master's degree. So we went up there. Never would have gone there otherwise. My brother used to joke, because when I was bartending and then doing some theater, and he used to joke. I remember when Kevin was a kid, he used to dream of being a bartender in Kansas City. And gosh darn it, he's doing it. I'm so proud of him. So It was a very odd place for somebody from Brooklyn, New York, raised in Long Beach, California, to end up. But a
Right.
fantastic place to start my career, to be honest.
Yeah, and you sort of got your big move to California by way of Kansas City. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was doing a play with Charlie Brill and Mitzi McCall. Some people will know them. They've been around a long time. A comedy team, a great couple. If you are a fan of game shows from way back when, they
yeah,
were on like every game show, Match Game, the original version. So
yeah.
we did a play together and really hit it off. And they said, you would do really well in LA. You should come out there.
Hmm.
So, oh, yeah, thanks. I don't know. And then they were doing a play, and the gentleman in the play had to drop out of it. And they said, come out. There was a play written by Danny Simon, Neil Simon's brother, and
Hmm.
being directed by a pretty well-known guy. And so I flew out, I got the play, and that brought me back. That kind of brought me to California full time. Then I got signed by an agent. And I was like, I guess I'll stay. And I don't know how much
Right.
I'm going to ramble on, but I had contracts to go back to Kansas City to do some theater. So I was giving it whatever amount of time, and literally like 2 days before I was supposed to go back to KC, I booked my first, not my first job, but I booked Baywatch. It was one of my
Oh
first jobs.
yeah,
My very first
yeah.
job in town was Tales from the Crypt. So I got that fairly quickly. That's how long ago I was working. Baywatch was my first big job. And then I decided, okay, I got to stay now and just see what happens. So I dropped out of the
Right.
plays. And like literally I don't know if it was the same day or the next day, I got an episode of Wings.
Yeah.
And that turned into 4 episodes of Wings. So it's like, it was confirmation I was heading the right direction by not going back to KC and doing that play.
Right. So how many times were you on Wings? You were on there 4 times?
4, yeah.
4 times, yeah.
It was my first sitcom job, and they. Oh, by the way, I drink Arrowhead water. So, yeah, get a product placement.
Yeah, product placement.
Yeah, I did. I did my first one, and they, they liked it. I did, I guess, and they
Yeah.
wrote they wrote the character in like 3 more times. So that was my first exposure to sitcoms. I'm like, this is easy. Hey, look at
Right,
me.
yeah.
But then reality set in a little. But I was pretty blessed. I did pretty well, pretty quick out of the gate. I got a
Yeah.
lot of work, and then then things settle down, and you kind of go back to the. I've always worked steadily, but that first few years were like, woo, because I was kind of a new guy, and I look like this, you know, and I'm good, I guess, and so I
Yeah.
was getting a lot of stuff, and that was 24 years ago, 25 years. Oh my
Yeah.
God,
It's
25 years
kind
ago I
of
did my
hard to
first.
believe that
I
Wings
did.
was that, long ago because I grew up watching that show.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I love the show and the people, and
it must have
sometimes
been such a fun cast.
I'm off. So a lot of times I'm asked, "What's your favorite job?" And I have so many, and I love every one because it's a job.
Right,
But sometimes I say Wings just because I was there 4 times.
right.
When you do a sitcom or any show, but you're the guest star, and
Hmm.
there's this machine going that's doing things every week, and you get dropped into the middle of it,
Yeah,
and you can't be the person that clogs up the gears.
right.
And everybody's always very welcoming and very nice, but you're there, and then you're gone.
Hmm.
So with Wings, when I get to come back, and I started to feel a little bit like part of the family.
Hmm.
And, hey Kevin, great to have you back. During the table reads.
Yeah,
So that was, I mean, that's 25 years ago. So I've had great experiences since then. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
that's the uniqueness of actually coming back and being involved in the show in a
Right.
more episodes essentially.
Yeah,
And
I
I've
would
recorded
imagine it
other
would be.
shows, but
Yeah,
um, it's just the way that happened. I don't know. It was and they're really nice people.
yeah. Well, it seemed like it would be a really fun cast. I mean, they seemed like they were having fun doing it.
Yeah,
So
I think all cast should seem fun, like they're having doing it
yeah,
because it's such a blessing, uh, and it's a great to make a living in this business is very hard. I mean, I'm not minimizing it, but
hmm,
you know, it's it's really cool. And if you're blessed enough, I keep saying blessed, but that's a good word.
yeah,
If you're a regular on a sitcom, I mean, it doesn't get any better. to me, the sitcom's like the best job in showbiz, being a regular, because you get to work,
Hmm.
you get the money and the fame, and you don't really work that hard. I mean, you do, but like if you worked on a procedural or an hour-long show, you're there
Right.
shooting, anywhere from maybe a 10 to 16-hour day, depending on how things are going. Sitcoms, you're there on one day, you do a table read, run through, you kind of out, and you
Yeah.
don't really put in really long hours unless something's terribly wrong, or if it's a new show when you're figuring it out.
Hmm.
Um, but not to minimize sitcoms out there or anything. I mean, it's a great job, but it takes really talented people to do it. And it's
Yeah.
the closest hybrid with theater because you're in front of a live audience and
Yeah.
rehearsing. Unlike other shows where you don't really get to rehearse, you just have to come in and do it.
Right.
Maybe you'd like to ask a question. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on.
No, that's okay. I'm interested in all this stuff. It's very
Okay.
interesting to hear. No, like you said, the sitcom format is just different than a drama. So it
Yeah.
just has to do with how it's filmed and also like you said, a sitcom is like when you take out the commercials, it's like 15 minutes long. So
Yeah, I think they're usually about like 22 minutes long.
yeah,
And when you rehearse it you're rehearsing a mini 22-minute play for a week,
right, for a week. Yeah,
That's
so
pretty
it's
good by the
not like a
first day.
soap opera or anything like that films every day and it's an hour
Well, soap
long.
opera is a whole other tough world because you're shooting like 70 pages a day, you know,
Yeah.
essentially 60, 70, whatever, as opposed to like a movie, a feature film, they're shooting maybe a page a day,
Hmm.
and a television series, hour long, maybe they're shooting 3 or 4 pages a day.
Right.
A sitcom, but it's 70 pages, but it's really big print. I
Yeah.
mean, but yeah, there's a lot of memorizing that has to go on there. Absolutely.
Well, I know that recently you were on Days of Our Lives as Karl, the Hawaiian shirt detective. So will you be back there at some point, or do you hope to be back there at some point?
I hope to be. Yes. So, a not too subtle plug. If anybody liked the character and
Right.
wants them back, even if you didn't like
Social
the
media,
character, then you
hashtag,
put them back. Yeah.
Hawaiian shirt detective Karl, something
Detective
like
Karl the Wine Shirt Man. Yeah,
right.
it was great. It was really a fun role, and got to work with Steve Nichols and Drake Hogeston, Patch and John.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a nice little. I did a few episodes, so that was great, and it seemed like it was going to be around. But I don't know. I rumor has it well, I know it's not a rumor. They changed writing staffs right shortly after we shot that
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if Karl was a victim of that or not. But there's no reason they can't be convinced. So,
Right. Well, we need to start a campaign to get you back.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should start like a Kickstarter to raise money for a billboard to put outside
Right.
NBC.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Actually, some people have been very nice. I got a lot of nice feedback from fans, and
Yeah.
lots said they would write in, and I don't know if they did, but I haven't heard back yet. But I've got given up total hope. It was a fun character, and I added, in my opinion, I mean, other people may disagree if they're huge fans, but he added some humor, a little colorful character, not necessarily the pretty, beautiful person, although, I've got my charms, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I think soap operas can use characters like that personally, and
Yeah, I do too.
like
I
when they
think
do it, and,
right.
So we'll see. So once again, if you feel like you see this and you go, hey, that wasn't that Karl? I love that guy. Wow, what can I possibly do? And I'm sure so many people are having that reaction right now.
Yeah,
Feel free to write in, and
yeah, we definitely need to get the word out on social media.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So that was my
I will
most
definitely
recent,
do what I can to get the word out about that. So for
was
whatever my opinion is worth.
it is worth everything. But
Yeah.
I think they listen to the fans. From what I know, I don't know how many letters or it takes. I don't think they'll go, oh, this one person in Idaho, they'll love that guy. Let's bring him back. It might
Right.
take a barrage of letters, but
Yeah.
and many from Idaho will be great. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
So yeah, but it was great, and it's fun, and the way the sitcoms start, soap operas work. We got it fairly quickly, and you got to rehearse. Work with the guys a bit, and I liked it. And my other soap opera experiences were I was actually on Days about 9 years ago,
Hmm.
10 years ago, playing the. It was Belle and Sean were on a desert island. They were
Yeah.
on Tindalau with their baby, and
Yeah.
I played the sheriff of the islands. And my one funny story from that is they had me in once again, kind of a tropical look. I guess I must look like a surfer dude or something.
Right.
But they had me in like shorts and a little bit of a sheriffy kind of shirt. And Albert Alar, the director of the episode, came out and said, "Okay, great, yeah, look great. Wait a second, yeah, come with me." And we walked back into the makeup room, and Albert goes, "Okay, this guy lives on an island. Can we put some color on his legs?" Because I was like white as snow, and
Right.
it made me laugh. And they did. They sprayed this is spray tan, and I looked, like a golden god at that point. But
Right.
that made me like Albert's just very subtle. Yeah, this guy needs some color. Come on.
Yeah.
He wasn't mad about it. He was just being funny. But
They would have to do that to me too. So pasty white. I mean,
oh yeah.
yeah.
I did that one, and then the other, I don't know if I wanted to go down the soap lane, but I also worked on a General Hospital way back when, and had a scene with Luke and Laura. Almost.
Yeah.
Not. They were already. We already had Lucky the son, I think.
Yeah,
So
Lucky.
it wasn't
Yeah.
like during the old marriage when they were getting married and all that hoopla, but not. It's like in the
Yeah. And you
early
were
90s,
fake
mid-90s.
bit by a dog on that show, right?
I did. Yes,
Yeah.
I did get bit by a dog. Yeah, I played a real estate agent trying to get their house from them, and they screamed at me and got me out of there. And their dog hit me. Maybe the dog's name was Lucky. No, the boy's name was Lucky, right?
The boy's name was Lucky.
Yeah.
They may have named the dog Lucky too. I don't know. I wasn't watching then, but
And my only maybe interesting story from that is I wasn't sure it was going to air because it was all during the O.J. Simpson trial, and
right, yeah.
the network was just they were putting on the soap operas at like midnight or whatever out here anyway in California.
Yeah.
And actually, I ran into Maurice Bernard at the gym, and we started chatting. Yeah, any idea if what are they going to do with it? Is it going to be on? He goes, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird right now. But as it turned out, that was the one of the few days where the court was recessed, and my episode ran.
Oh, well, that's good. That's really.
The episode I was in was the only one that ran in a 2-week period. So that was kind of fun. That I finally got that in. And that then most recently, I also a few years ago I played a bartender on Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
With, Christian. So that's my soap. Most of my
that's your soap. Yeah. Anyway. So, what's the most unusual acting job that you've ever had?
Well, the most unusual. Let's see. Well, I played a cilia in somebody's esophagus once or whatever. A cilia is like the little hair. Little hairs,
Yeah.
It was pharmaceutical. It was for pharmaceutical industrial, and
yeah, that would be an unusual acting.
Yeah, we were the guy had heartburn, and we were the cilias, and then like a big piece of pizza came down, and we were like, oh no, the pizza! So that might have been my odd. I don't mean to brag, but I play really good cilia, and
right.
Actually, any body part, any internal body part is kind of my expertise.
Right. But, yeah.
So those kind of thing, industrial films, which those are like inside training films or sales tools for the company and stuff like that. I did a lot of those. So yeah, that's my most unusual. It was an orange, fleshy color cilia, so I was all painted up and I was in an outfit.
How do you prepare for a role like that? I mean, you can't method or anything.
I went into all kinds of. I went to forensics labs and studied cilia, and I, looked in people's throats and up their nostrils to really get the sense of what it's like. And I put on the costume and acted silly, which was all they wanted me to do. otherwise, for the profession in the more professional world, that was a professional job. But I mean, I did an episode of well, a couple things. I did 2 Star Treks,
Hmm.
and it involved major prosthetics. So that was interesting to be. I played a Tellarite, which was a species that was introduced in the first series way back when. And so I had a makeup, and it's on my website at kevinbrief.com.
Yeah.
Well, and also on IMDb, I have the pictures posted. So I had it was about a 4-hour makeup job every day, and about an hour to take it off. But
Yeah.
pretty cool to be in an iconic series,
Yeah.
being an alien and using the Michael Westmore as a famous makeup guy that did the prosthetics and the makeup, and working with him. And then another one with in this prosthetic world, I did an episode of a show called Night Stalker,
Yeah.
which was a newer one. There was one way back in the 60s and 70s. This is a remake,
Yeah.
a redo. And I played a character that spontaneously combusted, and so I caught on fire, and it was so cool what they did, because I was another great makeup artist called Matthew Mungle, who's pretty famous. He did that one, and once again, there's great pictures of it on in various places on the web, but
Right.
different pustules that became blistered. I started blistering, and they had at one point during the thing, I'm on the ground, and it's in a gas station, rolling around in water that's supposed to look like gas. I had 4 people above me holding these things, because up to my body are these tubings that are causing the pustules to go boom, boom, boom
Oh
all over
yeah.
my
Yeah.
face. They've got one with smoke coming out, so it looks like I'm catching on fire, and something else. But
Yeah.
so at one point, for weirdness of a job, I'm laying in the middle of the night in downtown Los Angeles. I'm laying in a pool of water, flailing with 4 people over me, pressing things, and the camera's close up. It doesn't see them. So that's a weird way to spend the night.
Yeah.
And it
Even
was
in
cool.
LA, it's a weird way.
They built the fake gas station, and then they blew it up. That was a big thing at the end of the night. I spontaneously combust, catch the gas on fire, which catches, and everything goes. And so
Yeah.
it's really cool, huge explosion thing they did. So, I mean, those are pretty unusual things to do. But it's like, honey, what'd you do at work today? Well,
Right. Yeah.
see if I can explain this to you. But those just come to mind. I'm sure there's been weirder ones, but always fun. And
Yeah. So, is it true that you actually had to have speech therapy when you were in elementary school?
yeah, when I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and
Yeah.
we moved out here when I was pretty young. But I do like to claim Brooklyn as my birthplace, because it's cool to say, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn,
Yeah.
But apparently, because I don't remember, I was probably in first grade, and I can remember being pulled out of the class maybe once a week, maybe twice, for speech therapy, and they were trying to fix my R's. So I must have sounded like a Brooklyn kid. And so that, yeah, for I think it was at least 1 year, every week I was, I was pretty self-conscious, because I was, being, the little boy being taken out of the class for what. But yeah, and I don't know. I have no clue how that came about. They must have cleared it with my parents, but back then they might not have. I don't know.
Right.
You could not understand anything I said or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did. And
So, do you think that had any impact on your diction and stuff in theater later on, or?
Well, I mean, it probably fixed my baseline, so I didn't have to fix the R's later on. But then in grad school, I've had a lot of vocal training, different techniques. I don't know if that necessarily came into play, but nobody had to work on my R's in my later years. So I guess I was nailing the R's maybe. So, but Brooklyn, I guess what I say, I got to move. That's more Boston, but I guess you would drop the R at the end of the word, or car. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, so they fixed that, and I don't. Yeah, we'll say yes. Why not? It made me the man I am today.
Sure. Sure, it sounds good. It makes for a good story. So,
not for the speech therapist, who knows where I'd be?
Right. And I read that you've been teaching acting. Is that right?
Yeah, kind of a new foray for me, and I'm really enjoying it. Long story very short, a friend of mine taught an acting for film class at a university, and was having some health issues, and wasn't sure he could finish the semester. So he asked me and introduced me to the dean and the department chair, and I, filled out all the stuff I had to fill out and got vetted, and they said, sure, he can take over if need be. And sadly, it needed to be. So I came in and did the end of that semester, and then they added the class the next fall, which was unusual. They only offered it once every other year originally, and it was combined, but it was cross-listed theater, their theater classes with their cinema classes. It's a pretty good cinema department at the school. So I had cinema majors and acting people in it. So because there was like directors and writers wanted to learn about acting, which is a very smart thing for them to do if they're going to pursue that. And then that's just led to some other stuff done. And now I actually start teaching on next Monday, teaching something called it's a fundamentals to acting class. This is at College of the Canyons in Santa Clarita, California. If you know where Magic Mountain is, which is a big amusement park out here, not too far from there. And I'll be teaching in a kind of an intro acting class and then an improvisation class. So I'm doing a whole semester of that, which is to plan a whole semester from the beginning is kind of a new challenge. So it'll be fun.
Right.
And
so
they also like to have professional actors in both schools.
Right.
So they really like the fact that I have an MFA. That's really important in the academic world, but also that I'm a working actor. So that hopefully won't happen. But if I get a job, I'll cancel class and say I'm shooting this. Matter of fact, I had to do that at the other class because I shot All the Way, the HBO movie with Bryan Cranston. And it shot on a day that my class was in the evening. I just wasn't sure I was going to get out in time to go. So I just asked the class, "Do you guys want to cancel? You want me to just?" And so we just canceled that. But the school was like, if they don't want you to cancel a bunch, that's great. If we got a professional actor teaching here that has to cancel to go do work, that's a good thing.
Right.
And so, as long as it's not every class, but that's fairly new. And now I've also been doing some individual coaching for people doing for other actors, and I taught a audition techniques class for a friend of mine's casting studio here. So now you can call me Professor Brief. You don't have to, but just popped up here. But yeah, so it's fun. It's as I said, it's all these. It's a new challenge, which is I could fail at terribly, but the last few times went really well. I think I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah. Well, it's. I would imagine that it's a rewarding experience to do that.
Yeah, very much so. And I found for me also that what I really liked about it is it engaged a different part of me. Because as an actor, I'm always, auditioning or whatever. But when I'm doing that, when I teach, I'm like, oh well, Paula, she's intent. Okay, I could use that in class. Let me think. I'll see things. Go, that's that water. That's really interesting. Yeah, let me write that down. I'm going to use that in class. Just I'm starting to look at things a little differently of how I could adapt to my class. And I didn't do that before.
Right.
So, I like it. As I said, it engages a different part of my mind.
It's really cool.
So if you want to take a class, come on out here and sign up for Fundamentals of Acting at College of the Canyons.
Oh, okay, cool.
Put a plug in for them.
For the plug-in, right, exactly. So you get to vote on the Emmy Awards too, correct?
Yes.
So what is that like? Is that just a lot of like real watching, or?
Yeah, it's changed a lot in the past year or two because of the internet and the advances. So we can watch almost anything online now.
Right.
But I do get. I get boxes of DVDs. And if you want any, I guess I'm not supposed to give them out, but I have a lot of them. But and those will continue, I think, for the time being. But a lot of stuff is now delivered in almost every DVD set we get. There's a little card that says this can also be viewed at amc.com using this code, and so you can watch everything online. Yeah. So our charge is to watch everything, which is pretty impossible, but I try to. You try to make it as try to be as informed as you can as you vote. And actually, the voting just started this week, so I got to start thinking about it. And I think I have 2 weeks to vote. And now we totally vote online. We used to vote on paper, ballots, and
Right.
They used to choose us for you'd pick what you wanted to vote for, and then you would I would say I'm interested this year in doing a lead actor in something and the guest actor. Oh, one little side note: I'm in something called Performers Peer Group,
Mm-hmm.
and that means it's all performers. There's also like the Directors Peer Group, which is all directors, writers, and that's who votes for that world. I mean, only actors vote on the actor Emmys. Everyone votes on shows, best show,
Mm-hmm.
best reality show, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, next Monday night, they're having the Emmy nominee mixer, so I'll be going
Mm-hmm.
out to it's at a hotel in Beverly Hills, so it's a really nice evening, and a good portion of the actual Emmy nominees are there to kind of
Yeah.
mix up and handshakes and meet people and try to schmooze us for our vote kind of thing. Although it's just really more designed, for us to have a nice evening with a lot of stars.
Yeah.
I've been two times. I guess I don't know the best way to put it. I was kind of on the short list to
Mm-hmm.
get an Emmy nomination,
Yeah.
meaning the list of for best guest actor on a drama,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was like there were like 105 choices, and that got
Right.
narrowed down to 6, which I did not get in the final 6. But I was in the final 100 out of a lot of
Right.
performances, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I used to joke, it's getting a little better, but I used to joke the category should be called it's called, I think it's best guest actor
Yeah.
best actor in a guest role or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, best actor in a guest star role.
Yeah.
I usually joke it should be the best star in a role, because almost everybody, not making any sense. I can see by your face.
No. It's like I'm trying to sort this out in my mind.
The best star in a guest star role, because I mean it was always a name. The 5.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
always like, I mean, Matt Damon on Will and Grace. He did
Right.
he won the Emmy, whatever, for that. So
Yeah.
the workaday guys like myself that are Academy members and are not really known.
Yeah.
We rarely get in the final 5, but now and then, the last few years, there've been a few of them that have, so that's been very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? As a kid, I watched the Emmys. I'm a big kind of a nerd, awards nerd. I love the Oscars and the Emmys. So
Mm-hmm.
actually be voting in them is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And be invited to the events and get little, and just have my card. I'm a TV Academy member.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And not a lot of pressure because hopefully you vote. I think a lot of people don't, I guess, but I always do. And
Yeah.
and I really vote. It's hard not to vote for. Okay, well, this person always wins. I'm probably going to win again. I really vote for. I try to really watch and then vote for the one that touched me or I thought was the best performance.
Yeah.
Which is hard because they're usually also good, and they're it's apples and oranges often.
Right.
And some people don't know this. When an actor wins for a show, in everybody's mind, even in mine, they win for their role for the 22 episodes or the 10 episodes. But in reality, they've submitted an episode.
Right.
And
It's
so
just that
we're voting on that episode. They submit what they thought was their best work of the season.
Right.
But in essence, they're
Yeah,
actually
because it's impossible to watch an entire season of everything that's out there.
right. Yeah. So while they're actually just winning for the actual single episode in the voters' mind, they're winning for the whole series, like everybody.
Right.
Thinks.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's great.
Totally.
So, I'll let you know who I vote for when I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
If you have any really afterwards, tell me who you really like. I'll vote for.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of the Emmys, you did the Big Bang Theory a few times.
Yeah.
And I understand that you've actually kept in touch with Melissa Rauch from the show since then.
Yeah. Melissa's a sweetheart, and actually the whole cast is. They're very nice cast. I mean, I did 2 episodes, so once again, got to be there a little bit more than one.
Right.
Yeah, because 2 is more than 1.
Right. 2 is more
my
than 1.
first episode, Melissa was a guest star. She wasn't a series regular. She was just playing Howard's girlfriend.
Right.
But she's done a few episodes, and we just kind of. So we had a lot. We chatted a lot, and she just we just hit it off. She's really great.
Yeah.
And then the next season she was a series regular. So I thought, hey, look at
Yeah.
you! That was
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
Subsequently, she shot a music video. Uh, she does a lot of offbeat comedy stuff. She just had this idea, and she asked me to be in it. So I was in that, and then it was really nice of her when she was shooting The Bronze, which is a movie she had last year.
Mhm.
Very funny film, but it didn't get
Was that
released
the
too well because of
gymnastics film? Was that the
pardon me?
gymnastics film? The gymnastics
Yeah,
film? Yeah,
yeah. She
yeah,
plays a gymnast, and
yeah.
that shot in the in Ohio somewhere. And she shot me an email, said, I got this role. I think you're really right for it. It's not my decision, even though she
Hmm.
wrote it, started it. But that's the way it works.
Right,
Will
yeah.
you put it? Would you mind putting down an audition? And I hate to say this, you have to be a local hire, which means I have to fly myself there. But then I'll get paid and I'll be put up
Right,
all that.
yeah.
I know you. I mean, I'm not. My words are. I know you're way above that, but I would love for you to be in this movie, and if it could work out. So, and I'm not way above that. I'd like to
Right.
work, but
Yeah.
so I did. I've said it, but I didn't get the role. So that's not a very good story. But I mean, that's the kind of friend.
That's
That's how we are, though. I mean, that's how I know that. I know well enough that she reached out
Yeah.
to ask me to audition for a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we became quite friendly through that. The other folks were great. I didn't just, we didn't hang out and I didn't get to know them well. But
Right. With just 2 episodes, it would have been hard, I would imagine. So.
one anecdote from that one, I know people like anecdotes and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah. I think everyone does.
The episode, if you, it's called the Einstein approximation, I think, and it's at one point Sheldon's in a ball pit, like a Chuck E. Cheese ball
Yeah.
pit,
Yeah.
and then Leonard comes and I'm the security guard that lets him in and shows him where he is, and
Yeah.
then they're both in the ball pit like a lot, and then they got out, and I don't know if you know this, but ball pits are filthy,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And both, I mean, and Johnny Galecki was just, oh my god, I got it, I got it, and he just ran off to wash himself,
Yeah.
and as did Jim. But and then I was released, and I
Yeah.
didn't get to say goodbye to them.
Oh.
We happened to shoot that. That was like a pre-shoot because they built a separate set, so
Yeah.
that particular scene didn't shoot live.
Oh.
But
Okay.
they said, come back for the live taping night and do a curtain call and stuff if you want, because they just So I got back that night, and actually Johnny was so sweet because he goes, "Oh, Kevin, hi, man. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I felt so bad about not saying goodbye to you, but I had to wash up, man." I was like,
Right.
so that was really nice. So I mean, I didn't think twice about it, but it was nice that he came up to
Right.
me. So that, I mean, that's they're genuine.
Yeah.
It's funny that we make an example of people that are really nice and genuine people in showbiz. Everybody
Right.
should be,
Right.
but
It's
and
an exception. Yeah.
I've not worked with a lot of people that I have found objectionable. But to be honest, I've been almost, it could be maybe 2 or 3 times, and I won't name them here. Where
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, come on.
oh my god, this guy's got on TV series,
Yeah.
But most people have been really nice, so we shouldn't make a big deal when they are. But I do, because you kind
Yeah.
of wonder what else are they like? Are they stuck up? And plus these guys are on the show a long time. They really know their stuff. They're making all kinds of ridiculous money, and
Yeah.
yeah, there are, I think, the 3 of them on that show right now. The 2 of those guys, maybe Kaylee, I forget, are making $1 million an episode. So
Right. Yeah. That's friends
I don't know
money.
if I could get by on that, but I give it a
Yeah.
shot.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Be a nice problem to have. So.
yeah, but and
Be
actually,
nice to
speaking
find
of
out.
the Emmys, is that except for Jim Parsons, that show's really been kind of not Emmy. The Emmys don't seem
Right.
to give it a lot of love, and I don't get it, because I think it's a really funny show, and
It's a very
it's in and out
clever.
quality for like 10 years now, 9 years, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
And they've had some have been nominated. Johnny was nominated a couple times, and
Yeah.
Maya Bialik gets nominated, but the show doesn't always get nominated. It's never won.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't understand that.
I don't know. It's just a lot. There's so much cool one camera stuff with Veep and where these
Yeah.
shows where they can do so much more. They just get the artistic. People think they're more artistic, but there's a lot to putting on particularly the writing staff. They write a new they write an episode every week.
Right.
You know, and the only argument, they're Big Bang's probably shooting 24 episodes a season, and Veep shoots 10. So it's like
Right.
there's an inequity there too. But so yeah, so I'll vote. I a lot of times I vote a Big Bang slate just because I know the people, and
Yeah.
I
Well,
vote
it's
for
a
the
good
best
show. I
work,
mean,
like I
it's
said
a
earlier. But a
clever
lot of times I
show.
vote for my friends too. So
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're not the only one who does that. So.
yeah, at least I vote. I don't give it to my
Right.
my dog to hear.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, but Big Bang, and
Wait, I know that you also did Heart of Dixie. So
yeah, that was another recent. Yeah,
is
and
it
another.
true that at the table read, the director told you that they liked your Eeyoreness? Am I saying that right? Eeyoreness?
Yeah, the director, Mary Lou Belli, who actually on TV shows, sometimes it's the same director for everything, but usually not. And Mary Lou was, I think that might have been her first Heart of Dixie too. I'm not sure. She does a lot of directing. And then when I came back for the next episode, she was directing that one too. So I had the same director both times. But yeah, I mean, this sounds very self-serving, so please forgive me. But yeah, with the table read, I was like, oh man, I'm so glad to be back. She was, I know, it's great to see you again. And they really loved you, and they just love that, I don't know, Eeyore quality you brought to it, or and that night, what was it, Eeyore, or was it whatever? Yeah, just because I was just like this, yeah. I said, oh, okay, great,
Like
great to know.
Mopey or something.
I kept that going. So that was a nice. That's another one where I had a recurring role. I shot it. It was a one-shot deal, but they liked what they saw, I guess, and thought of the way to keep the character in there. So brought me back another one, and then it got canceled.
So. Yeah, see, and that show to me, I never really felt like it got the appreciation it deserved. I thought it was a really good show. So
yeah, it was. I liked it. It not reminded me totally, but it was Gilmore Girl-ish, and that it was really which is just a terrific show when you watch Gilmore Girls. And it was a pretty big hit in its own way, but I don't know if they're comparable, but it just felt like it never really got all the love it should have either. And Heart of Dixie was a sweet show. I mean, that's the other thing. It had very sweet. It wasn't like, it was family friendly, sweet,
family
sweet
friendly,
world they were
and
depicting.
Talented cast.
And the cast was not hard to look at.
No,
I'll give you that. They were all really pretty people.
Probably more so in person than even on TV. So,
well, actually, sometimes, but not always. But camera, some people just pop on camera. I mean, they're pretty people. Don't get me wrong with them. They just are luminescent when the camera hits them.
Right. Yeah.
So that was another one. It was like I've had a couple of those where it's like, oh, I got a recurring thing, and then the show's canceled.
Right, the show gets canceled. Yeah, I think it was only on for like 3 seasons or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I was the 3rd season. I had I looked like a recurring role I was going to do on Will and Grace. I played Will's squad car partner, who was played by Carnivale. And it was a really fun role, and it went really well. And they said, "Oh yeah, we'll definitely bring Ralph back. It's a great thing." But then they broke up Will and the boyfriend, so I was like, I guess.
I guess he's not going to
come around anymore. So like a few episodes later, I don't know, the writing room just figures out this is a better way to go, or maybe Bobby had too many conflicts because he's a pretty busy guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that was one I thought would turn into something that didn't turn into something, but it was something. I don't mean to. I'm not.
Yeah, you thought it would turn into something more then.
Yeah.
Well, you did a PSA actually earlier this year with Barbara Eden of all people.
Is
that the first time you had gotten to work with her?
We got it about a year before that. It didn't. I didn't have permit. NDA non-disclosure agreements.
Right.
For some reason, they did a couple of them with celebrities from the 60s and 70s. One with Adam West, I believe. And I guess they were just rolling them out how they wanted to. But yeah, and I'll tell you what, I think she's 80. Was 80 when she shot that. She looks fantastic.
Yeah, she does not look 80.
Really sharp. Really a sweetheart.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and it's just like I'm working with Jeannie. This is so awesome. It was like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. We had the Jeannie bottle there. It was part of one of the props in the thing, and it's for a very odd organization. It's for the United Postal Service inspection, the United Postal Inspection Service.
Yeah.
Which are the people that like are helping get about like people. They're out there fighting fraud and mail fraud. So they're putting information out like don't send this contest thing in. It's fake, you know.
Yeah.
Or don't sign up for this. So it's that they do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's actually, of all things, a TV show featuring them on Saturday mornings on NBC, I think, called The Inspectors. So if you got kids out there, you might want to watch it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it was great. I mean, it was just as I said, she just couldn't have been nicer, and you know, I was just so impressed that she was just like as sharp as a tack, you know. And then when you think back, I was looking for some pictures off the internet to like when I was going to do a posting about it. Man, she was just a knockout, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I'm like saying too many things about people's looks, but I mean, but she was like just I mean, just really, really, really pretty, you know, back in the day, and she still looks like Barbara Eden. So
right, she hasn't changed a great deal.
She really hasn't.
With
I mean,
age.
you know, I mean, obviously, but she really hasn't on some level.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
she still essentially looks the same.
Yeah, and you know, hopefully, you know, she's doing well now because that was actually almost over 2 years ago we shot it. So
yeah,
but it was held up for a long time.
Yeah, and of all the things that you probably would have imagined that you would be working with Barbara Eden on, I would imagine that a PSA would not be the first thing that you would think.
Yeah. Good, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other part. No, that was it. I just liked her.
Yeah.
She stays active in stage work too. She just done a play in Kansas City where I knew several of the other people in the show with her. She did a dinner theater there. So, you know, she's 80 years old. She's still on the boards acting and doing stuff. So.
Well, look at Betty White, and I know you were on Golden Girls, so.
Yeah, that goes back a ways too.
Right.
Yeah. That's that's kind of a. It's really fun to know. Say you know, Friends and Golden Girls and these just classic, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, all time kind of shows. That
yeah, because no matter what, you can always say you're a part of those shows, and they're iconic shows.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to talk about Golden Girls if you wanted me to, but we don't.
No, go ahead. It's totally fine.
I've told the story a couple times and some stuff. So the interesting thing from that show, one of the it was we were in a bar and Blanche was like singing at the piano and became a big hit in the bar. And then Dorothy comes one night and sings and becomes like a big hit. And now it's like a competition of like, hey, this is my place. You can't be here. You know, it's the essence of the show. But we when we shot it, B. Arthur sang her song, and I think she sang "What'll I Do?" It's an old Perfect Villain song, I think.
Right.
But Rue McClanahan wasn't feeling really well. She said, I don't want to sing right now. You know, she didn't feel like she could do her best. So we didn't shoot her stuff, but they brought us all back like 2 weeks later, and they kept the set up, and we shot her stuff then. So that was shot. Her song was shot 2 weeks later, and the cool thing is, for an actor, is I got another week's pay out of it.
Right.
But you know, but they could not have been nicer too. And Betty White. I mean, I rarely do this, but I have my script from that show that's signed by all of them. So
yeah,
I should have done that more in my career. Got things, you know, got autographed scripts from the people I worked with, but that one's like, you know, to have all 4 Golden Girls on a signature of a Golden Girl script.
That's really a special.
Yeah. So look on eBay for that right after this show.
Right.
But, yeah. So I mean, that episode was written by a gentleman named Mark Cherry and his partner Jamie Wooten, I think, that went on to create Desperate Housewives and now Dismayed. So long careers there for him as well.
Right. Exactly. Well, I understand that in your spare time, actually, you volunteer with the Special Olympics. So,
I've always tried to make a place for the Special Olympics. I was kind of mad at myself because the World Games were just in LA last July, and I just because of life and schedule. I didn't really do much with that, and it was like such a rare opportunity. We did go. My wife and I just went to see some events just to support it, but I didn't really do any volunteering. But I went. So I mean, being in the stands for the equestrian Special Olympics, it's kind of a way to support it. But yeah, it's just I just have a real heart for that population. You know, I just have, over the years I've done a lot of volunteering. I'm not officially tied in with the organization in a kind of full-time way, but you know, when they're doing them, and I volunteer. And
yeah,
you know, it's just, you know, it's like sometimes it's just helping the kids at the line. Sometimes it's
right.
Last time I worked the shot put, so I was like measuring the shot put and encouraging them to throw at it, you know, and stuff. So it's and I mean it's I don't know, it just does my heart good.
Yeah. So is there any reason why you were especially attracted to that particular organization to devote your time to, or?
I'm not sure why I started. As I said, I just have I just feel like I have a real heart for that population, the mentally disabled. Just, you know, my niece used to work a lot with them, and she worked a lot with Down syndrome kids, and she just had the best stories. I mean, they're funny stories, but they're also heartwarming.
Right. Yeah.
Heartwarming. And she also said, you know, the thing about Down syndrome kids, they have more confidence than anybody I know. I mean, they're just really like, they just think they're great. You know, so it's great when you see somebody with, you know, those disabilities just knowing they're great, and nonetheless, it's just very inspiring.
Right.
So I've I don't know, it does my heart good, and I don't think that's necessarily a way to judge everything if you're going to do volunteer work, but I mean, I get something out of it too, is what I'm saying, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think
anytime
you give back like that, you get something out of it. You get more than you give most times.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, and I used to be like every year I'd be there, and as life and other things fall into place, that I haven't been as consistent as I would like to be, and have been. But I you know, we just, as I said, I just volunteered last year. But not for the World Games, which for the local games. How about you?
I'm not doing any volunteer work.
Okay.
Not really. I mean, I try to do a few things, like there's a local no-kill organization for animals in my area, and I try to help out in small ways with them when I can through social media and that sort of thing to try to get dogs adopted.
Yeah,
so I do that. It's very, very minute, very small, but
no, it's not. You know, in this day and age, anything you do when you get outside yourself, and that's another reason, as an actor, I like doing it. An acting career is very, I mean, I'm entertaining people, but it's a very self-oriented career. I mean, it's all about, you know, auditioning,
so you want to kind of
putting myself out there,
out of that a little bit.
And it's nice to get out of, you know, everything about Kevin, and make it about other people, you know, something else. And almost every, you know, celebrity I know, I have some friends that are fairly big names. They all have foundations. They all are, and they're most proud of, you know, some of the charity work they do, to be honest. So I think it's something in the actors. We're actually pretty empathetic people, because of the art, the kind of art we do, but we're also very
because you're constantly putting yourself in someone else's shoes. I mean, because you have to. So
and like I said, we're very empathetic, but we also have to spend so much time thinking about ourselves and how to get the next job and how to make ourselves in that job. It's nice to use that empathy and for something else.
Find the balance.
Yeah, exactly. Balance is good.
Yeah. Well, as I've mentioned so many times throughout this interview, you've been in some amazing shows, and many of them have been my favorites. Let's see, Murphy Brown, Friends, Wings, Heart of Dixie we talked about, Mike and Molly, The Golden Girls, and even the slightly obscure, I'm sure you don't hear this a lot, people being a fan of this TV movie, Live from Baghdad, because I know it's not very famous, but that was one of my favorite TV movies.
Yeah, that was a good film.
Yeah. So, do you have any interesting anecdotes about any of those shows or anything that you would like to share?
Well, Murphy Brown was the guys that actually wrote my very first Wings episode.
Hmm.
Were now on Murphy Brown. They were a writing team, and also I worked on Wings a few times with them.
Right.
They were producing that. They were execs on that show, and they had this little. It was a really relatively small role,
Hmm.
but the guy they had in it just wasn't making it work for some reason.
Yeah.
And I got a call. It's like, hey, we're kind of. This is weird, Kevin, but any way you can work tomorrow? We kind of want to fire this guy, and we think you can nail this. So I don't know who it was. I'm sorry he didn't. But yeah, so I just kind of I got offered that. I went in the next day, and I got a pretty big laugh with what they wanted me to do. So that was nice.
Right.
So I didn't get that in that one. I didn't get the experience of being there for the week and being
Right.
at the and the rehearsals. But I was able to get there one day, and we plugged in, and do well.
Yeah.
And it's actually I had it on my demo reel for a long time as one of the ending things, and I got to say it almost always made me laugh.
Yeah.
And I don't really laugh at my own stuff, but it was a pretty funny little bit. So
what was the name of the episode that you were on, Murphy Brown?
Specific overtures, I think.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah, it's a relatively small role.
Yeah.
But it's actually a really funny bit. As I said, it makes me laugh when I see it.
Yeah.
And and that another thing, personal story from that is I had two friends flying in from Kansas City to visit me.
Uh-huh.
And they were arriving that day, and I called them. I said, I can't pick you up at the airport. I got to work on Murphy Brown. But you want to come see the show? So
Right.
they came right from the airport to Warner Brothers, and parked, and then come saw right from the airline. And my friend, his wife, was in the car. They just pulled up, and Sylvester Stallone walked across in front of her, and she went, "I'm in Hollywood." She wasn't just like, "Gosh, you do see stars everywhere you go." Like the first person to see this alone. And then they came to see the show, and they another cute thing was Dan Castellaneta, who was the voice of Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Was on that episode as well. And my friend Dean is as I am too, was a huge Simpsons fan.
Yeah.
And so after the show, they came down the stage and met people and met Dan. I said, Dan, I hate to put you in this position, but Dean's a huge fan. He goes,
Yeah, you have to do
"Oh
that.
well, all right, just a little Homer to get him through the night." And then that was it. So those are my Murphy Brown stories off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And of course, Candace Berg and I became fast friends. Hung out every weekend for brunch.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Did not happen, but she was nice too.
Yeah.
Everybody was nice. I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, it sounds like you've been very lucky
Oh,
to.
nice.
Yeah.
But so Murphy, that's the story from there. Live from Baghdad. Interestingly, not very much of it's shot in the Middle East. A lot of it's shot in LA. Like the Minaret thing. There's one there's something that looks like that in Culver City. So they shot that and then with what CG they made it look like Baghdad. The director, Mick Jackson, I got to know later actually. I only was on the thing for 1 or 2 days. But went to a Christmas party at a friend of mine's house, and Mick was there, and he is really good friends with my friend. So I see him every Christmas, and an interesting note of that is Mick's wife is a therapist. My friend is a director. His wife is a therapist. Another friend of mine is a director. His wife is a therapist. So therapists and directors, they mate.
Yeah, that's a little bizarre.
Yeah. So and Mick, I mean, he directed Temple Grandin, which was a movie on. It's just fantastic. Another one that population in a way, but great film. And he just, I think he has something that's coming out this fall that's supposed to be pretty good. So his big thing before that was The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston, was one of his first big movies.
Yeah.
But once again, The Life from Baghdad was relatively small role in the big picture of the 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
But once again, great to be in it.
Yeah. Well, that's that's pretty much all of my questions. Do you have anything that you would like to add before we go?
Oh gosh, I hope I didn't ramble too much, but I guess that's the point,
No,
right?
I loved hearing all of your stories. I bet you have a million more, so you'll have to come back.
Okay, I have a million more. I do.
Yeah.
But it's more fun over like a glass of wine or a beer or something. But this works
Right,
fine.
yeah. Well, we
No,
want to
thank you so much.
mention that you have a rerun of Mike and Molly that's going to be on tomorrow, correct?
I do, and also I have a rerun. I haven't posted anything yet of Criminal Minds. Will be on Wednesday night on Network. They're rerunning
Oh, okay.
one that aired for the first time early this year. So it's called
Right.
Hostage. A really good episode. And Criminal Minds has been in the news a little bit this week, but nothing to do with that.
Right, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'm really proud of my work in it. It was a kind of a nice role for me, and it's a really good episode. Very compelling. Very. Let me put it this way: my wife can't watch the show because it's too gory. She's, oh God, I can't.
Right, it is, yeah, it's
And
very.
this one you can watch. It's not gory. I mean, it's very disturbing mentally, but there's no real gore to speak of. Nobody's getting. It
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
with a woman getting a drill into her head.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's on Wednesday night, CBS, 9 o'clock, or I
Okay.
guess 8 Central.
Yeah.
And Michael Molly's, I forget where it's free. TBS or
TBS, or I can't remember when that comes on in the afternoon. What channel that or what station that comes on? I'll have to look that up and then I'll post it later.
Check your local listings.
Check your local listings. Yeah. Do a DVR search.
I have enough that I've done. I've got something airing on a lot of cable, a lot of syndication.
Nice residuals probably for that.
Yeah. So it's and I've started to do some more. I'm getting more and more involved in social media and been posting a lot about when I'm on things. So hope it's not too obnoxious.
Right, and we definitely want to help spread the word about you coming back on Days of Our Lives as Karl. So
that'd be good. Yeah. So to sum up, feel free to write Days of Our Lives, getting Karl back.
Right.
And if you want to follow me at all, I'm at Instagram Kevin_brief.
Yeah, I think so.
My Twitter is Kevin Brief. And my Facebook, I have a Kevin Brief, an actor Kevin Brief Facebook page. I'm very original in my naming things. Kevin Brief, Kevin Brief.
Twitter, what is your Twitter? It's just Kevin, it's just twitter.com/Kevin Brief, right?
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think if you go to Twitter and put in my name, you'll find me.
Yeah, it is.
Same with Instagram.
At Kevin Brief.
Luckily, I don't think there are a lot of Kevin Briefs around, so I think I'll be the only one that pops up.
Well, that's good though. So
please, go like my page, follow me on Instagram and
Twitter.
I have a website, www.kevinbrief.com. That's just all things Kevin Brief. If you want to, you can see clips of my work.
There's almost too much social media to be able to do all of it, and now Snapchat is out there too, which I have not ventured into that territory yet.
I have not entered the Snapchat world, and I have a great assistant that helps me with a lot of stuff. You've been in contact with
she's on top of all of it. So
that helps a lot because I'm a little technically challenged, as you can tell by.
No, actually, I think you did pretty good considering. I think you did pretty good considering that Google had it out for me tonight.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm actually on an Ethernet. I actually plugged in to make sure this was working. When's the last time you did that?
Crazy.
I know. So
So obviously you're good at it because even thinking to do that was something. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So if you need any tech support, Kevin Brief, tech guy at
Kevin Brief.
you won't get anything if you go there, but anyway, but please, if whoever's watching this, click on Actor Kevin Brief Facebook page and stay in touch with me however you can. I always love interacting with fans. I just got a request of all things from a fan in Russia for an autograph photograph. Like, oh God, apparently I'm big in Russia. Who knew?
Right.
So I just sent that off. So that's kind of cool.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, obviously somebody in Russia with no life whatsoever, but still.
No.
No. Pavel something. Hi, Pavel, if you're watching. Hope
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on the show and for your patience with all the technical difficulties. I really appreciate it. And, I hope that you'll come back and share some more of your stories at some point.
Okay. I'd love to. It's been a lot of fun, Paula.
Yeah, it was fun talking to you. Yeah.
You guys keep tuning in to Paula's Soapbox, too.
Yes, definitely.
And always drink Arrowhead water.
I will share the link so that you can share it, too. So I'll send that
Right.
to you, and I'll send it to your assistant. So
This will live forever on the internets somewhere.
right, it'll be on YouTube forever.
Yeah. Great.
Right. All right. Well, you have a good rest of the night, Kevin.
You too. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.